Today I'm going to show you how you can take your Home Assistant automations to the next level. I'm going to show you 5 automations that you can create in your smart home using webhooks. In today's examples, we're going to use the Apple shortcut to trigger the webhook, but you don't have to use Apple to implement webhooks. You can have anything: desktop applications, terminals, web application, Python scripts. Basically, it's super straightforward to connect to Home Assistant via webhook. Let me show you straight away how to use webhooks in Home Assistant. So I created this webhook automation test, which I can open up and show you. Now click Add Trigger. You can see we have a webhook ID automatically generated. This is the ID that we're going to need to pass to the webhook call when we actually make it on the device that we're going to be using. And to do that, it's actually super easy. You can also create your own webhook, but be careful, you're going to need to treat this as a password. So you need to keep it a bit secret. Now let me explain to you why you need to treat this as a password. If someone has access to your Home Assistant instance and it's publicly available on the internet, meaning that anyone can connect to it, and if someone knows your webhook ID, then potentially they can be triggering automations in your home without you actually knowing about this. Don't worry, we're going to delve a bit more in detail as the video goes along, so keep watching. Before I give you the 5 examples, I want you to create one test automation to see if you can get this to work. As I mentioned, I'm going to be using the Apple shortcuts, which you should see appearing right here. So in the Apple shortcuts, go to automations, and in automations here you can see personal and you can see home. These, the home ones are the one from HomeKit if you're using HomeKit, and the personal ones are the one over here, and you can see a couple of the ones that I've created so far. Tap on the plus button and tap Create Personal Automation. Now from here you can use any of these as a trigger for your webhook trigger. This is what I set up previously. When my iPhone is connected to power, then I can do several things. And what you need to do is use get contents of URL. And this is the actual URL that I am using. You can see I'm gonna make this a lot bigger now for you. The structure of the URL is as follows: http:// your IP address, and this is my local IP address of my Home Assistant server. Then you're going to need your colon and your port, which with Home Assistant is normally 8123. And then this is going to be the part that everyone's going to need to follow: /API/webhook/ and then you're going to need to use your webhook ID, like for example the one specified here, or you can create any one that you want. Now I created one called test, and you can see that the previous one is actually just simply called test. If you want to use a actual real name, you probably want to call it something similar to what it actually is doing, but remember of that caveat of it being secret. The downside of this, if I want this to work when I'm outside of my home, so I'm not connected to my Wi-Fi, then this will not work. Another thing to note in this particular example, this is not just the act of plugging a cable in, but it's just even just putting it with the wireless charging will activate this automation. If we expand the box below, there's a couple of things that you need to set. First of all, the post. So your method will be get. Get is what you use maybe when you use a browser, for example. So post is that what we're sending. So we're sending, imagine like a mail, right? We're sending a letter, we're sending a message to Home Assistant. And in the message, you can have sentences, you can have things that you are telling Home Assistant specifically. These things are used in the request body, and you can create a key value pair. What that means, basically, it's just a name that we create, like type, and then test. And then you can use a Home Assistant to actually read that text that you are getting. So you can send messages to Home Assistant and use them in Node-RED flows or anything that you want. And this is also called a payload. You can add many of these types. So if you just press the button, you can see a text number or array, dictionary or Boolean. So you've got quite a lot of options here. Now, what if you do want to use these webhooks when you're outside of your home? Let's say, for example, that you want to use your phone to know if you're leaving a certain place. For example, if I'm leaving work or if I get to my train station, then I want Home Assistant to do something. You can also do this in Home Assistant with zones, but if you don't want to do that in zones and you want to trust your iPhone or your device to be more accurate, then the location tracking of Home Assistant app on your phone then you could perhaps look at this solution. If you were trying to do that, then you would need a way of communicating to your webhook using an external, basically, IP address. This is where you need to be a little bit more careful. But if you do have the Nabucasa cloud subscription, Nabucasa's got you covered. Let me show you how you can actually do this. So we've got our automation here, as I said earlier. So once we save this automation, we can go to settings again, to the Home Assistant cloud, which should be the first one you actually see, and then keep going right down at the end, and you should see something like webhook test automation and webhook test. So you can see we've got these different webhook automations. And you see I have two triggers, and one is called test and one has this other long ID. So let's say that I want to turn this on. So if I turn it on, we get this public address. So it's an HTTPS and hooks Nabucasa, and you see this long string, and it actually continues along in the string. And I'm obviously going to be deleting this automation, which is just a phony automation anyway, so I'm not going to be blurring it out. But if you are, using this publicly, or you're doing a screenshot or something, remember, don't share this whole address, because someone or anyone can connect to your instance with a webhook without any level of authentication. Let me stress again, without any level of authentication. Okay, so your ID and your webhook ID is your authentication method. Now, if you're a network expert, I would love to know your opinion in the comment section down below. Do you think that even if we are only looking for a local connection only, so an IP address, an internal IP address, if that poses any security vulnerability? So would you be comfortable sharing your webhook ID publicly if you actually had it only running locally? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you're enjoying this video and getting value out of it, remember to like and subscribe for much more content like this one. So we learned about webhooks, we got it working, we've got a demo working. Now let's learn about the 5 use cases that I actually wanted to share with you in this video. So we're going to close this video off with a bang. Plus button again, create personal automation, and here we've got the full list. Go right to the bottom for the first one, sound recognition. Now this is where your iPhone is going to recognize the sound in its environment with its speakers or its microphone, obviously. And then you can use that to do all sorts of automations. So things like an appliance, baby crying, a fire alarm, a cough, a doorbell, a kettle. So I don't know how actually precise, but I will try it out. And I will let you know in community posts, if you're subscribed, you'll see it, where this actually is going to be in place. But if you do have these scenarios where you have maybe a kettle whistling or something like this, let's say doorbell, right? So just pick one. The cool thing, you actually pick multiple. So you could pick one, for example, doorbell, and then you could go next. Add action, search for URL contents. If you search for URL, you might not find it, because you'll see URL and you'll say get components of URL, but that's not what we want. So you want to say get contents. So just keep on going. Yeah, you should see it on the web so you don't get confused. So get contents of URL is what you need. And then here you'll put the URL we talked about already. And then in the method, you'll put post, and you put your field in, and you can put anything that you want. So you could have, for example, a speaker in Home Assistant playing a message that you have put in here, for example. So like, hey, someone's at the doorbell, hey, the kettle's whistling, the baby's crying, any of these examples. So I feel this is a super powerful scenario that you can use webhooks for. A more straightforward example is using lower power mode or the battery level specifics. For example, you can pick a battery level and you can say if it's below or above, but let's say below because we want to be notified when, our phone needs charging. For that, again, I would use text to speech or some other notification system. You don't want to notify your phone that's below a certain percentage because you actually can see it from the phone, but it might be a really neat reminder, like 5-10% battery, you get a notification. But you can combine that knowledge also with other things like, well, I know you've got a calendar event coming up, so you can say, well, it's best to charge up your phone before you leave. So we might give you some prompt in that regards. Yes, you can do some of this also with the Home Assistant app, but it depends on how accurate that is and how fast it takes to update itself. This one is going to be a neat one for those of you that love your sleep or love snoozing your alarm. If you go to alarm, you can actually see if it's snoozed. So if it did snooze, then you can actually pick a specific alarm type, if it's a wake up alarm or an existing alarm, right? And then you can actually leverage that information to maybe prompt yourself to get up. So you can, if you smoothed and it's 5 minutes have gone by and we haven't picked up motion and your blinds haven't gone up, or for any reason, you can really like have some music playing from speakers. You can have blinds coming up, lights flashing, anything that really, or like a water hose, like Mr. Bean episodes when he has to go to the dentist. But you could pick any sort of mechanism that will make you wake up, and that's something that you can do again with this webhook integration. The fourth one is what we talked about already, is the bedroom routine. So you can connect your phone at night or put it on your wireless pad, and if you put a condition on the time of day, you can actually realistically know if you're going to sleep. Your phone also will change mode, which is something else that you can use. So when you are actually sleeping, at least with iPhones, your mode will change. You can see when the do not disturb mode is one of the modes. But there are other focus modes that you can leverage to find out if you're sleeping or not. And as soon as you're sleeping, then we could trigger our goodnight scene that we might have already implemented, or goodnight script in Home Assistant. The last one is about email, and I'm thinking, well, what if some really important person, your boss, your spouse, someone emails you and you really need to know that that email came in, or with something specific, perhaps like invoice or bill, and you want to be notified as soon as that comes in. You can actually do that. So you can go to email, for example, and you can say, you can specifically set a sender. You can put what the subject contains, so a specific word like invoice or something like that. You can actually look at an email account specifically like you want notifications to happen on, and obviously the recipient, which most likely is yourself. But if you're like in a CC in an email, then maybe you don't want to be notified with some sort of alarm. You can have even like a lamp turning red at your desk when your boss sends you an email and you need to get in touch with, there's some sort of calendar event that's coming your way. So I hope that I inspired you to take your automations to the next level. If I have, then let me know in the comment section down below, but also like this video. If you want to keep taking it forward to the next level, subscribe to the channel, but also watch this next video here, where you're going to learn more about Home Assistant and smart home automations. See you in that one. Ciao.